Hello there. I'm Jas Singh, and I'm doing my assignment 3 for my PIDP3240 course. What I've done here today is create a Prezi presentation, and I'll be using this technology to illustrate how we can solve a present value finance problem in 4 steps. I believe that this is an important concept which I stress to my finance students. Figuring out what a series of payments or a series of cash receipts is worth is important because money tends to lose value over time because of inflation. And although my students are not necessarily in a situation yet where they're paying a series of payments, they're receiving a series of payments, it's still a real world example which they can relate to and understand the importance of just knowing exactly how much money you're getting in today's dollars. So to solve this problem, we're going to go through 4 steps: reading the problem, drawing a timeline, identifying the correct formula, and performing the calculation. So let's go ahead and get into the first step, which is reading the problem. Marie has completed some work for a client and she's going to get paid 3,000 today, 2,000 in 1 year, and 1,000 in 2 years. Assuming the market interest rate is 5%, what is the present day value of Marie's work? So reading the problem, we want to look at the important details which we're going to need to solve this question. So clicking on the first bubble here on the right, we're going to note the dollar amounts and the dates. So we have 3,000 today, 2,000 in 1 year, and 1,000 in 2 years. So this is important information we're going to need to solve this question. And the second piece of information we have here is the interest rate. I equals 5% per year. That's the rate we're going to use to discount our money as we go through this problem. So another important piece of information. Moving on to step 2, which is drawing a timeline. What we do here is we draw a straight line and we make notches on it to illustrate the dates. So clicking on the first bubble here, plot out the dates and write them on the bottom. Right, so you see that t equals 0 is today, 1 year from now, 1y, and 2 years from now, 2y. And then the corresponding dollar amounts on top, right? So whatever money she's going to receive, Marie, she's going to write down the dollar amounts right above the corresponding date. And we also have I equals 5% to remind us what the rate is to discount this money. What we want to do is now identify the correct formula before we solve this question. So the easiest way to do that is just draw arrows going back uh, to where you want the cash flow to be. In this case, it's a present value question, so we're taking future values of 1,000 and 2,000 respectively, and we're moving them back to the present day. Once we draw these arrows, which show the growth or discounting of cash flows, we can go ahead and identify the correct formula that's needed to solve the problem. It's a lot easier to see what you're doing once you have those arrows in place, right? So something I stress to my students, make sure you draw your arrows. So we're looking for the present value. This is the formula. FV stands for future value. These are the amounts that Marie's going to get in the future. And then we divide the future values by the 1 plus I term. I is your interest rate, if you remember correctly, of 5%, and n to the power of n, which is the number of years, right? So 1 year for the first dollar amount and 2 years for the second dollar amount. So step 4, the last step, is to perform these calculations on your calculator, right? So if you have a finance calculator, you can go ahead and do that. We look on the timeline and we build an equation to discount these numbers correctly. So we have $3,000. First off, we don't have to do anything here, right? Nice and easy. 3,000 today. We have it in present value already. And then we have 2,000, which is discounted 1 year, right? So we're going to get 2,000 next year. We're going to bring it back to the present day. And then we have 1,000 more, which is discounted 2 years. We're going to bring that back 2 years to the present day. So you see that happening. on the formula here. So we're going to solve all of these values individually. That's the next step here. So plug them into your calculator. 3,000 again stays as is. The 2,000 term, when it's discounted or divided by 1.05, we get 1904.76. And when 1,000 is divided by 1.05 squared, we get 907.03. So you have this all up on the chalkboard in nice steps here. 1.05 discounted, used to discount 2,000, and 1.05 squared used to discount the 1,000. So we write those numbers down: 3,000 plus 1904.76 plus 907.03. And the last step, of course, is to add everything together to get your final answer. So the present value of the client's payment to Marie is 5,811.79, right? And the last thing I like to do, just as a check, is to just add up the raw dollar values without any discounting, so we kind of know we're in the same ballpark. So if you do that, you have 3,000 first, and you have 2,000, and you have 1,000. When you add them together, you get 6,000. So getting an answer like 5,811 is quite reasonable. You lose about $200 worth of buying power over 2 years. Overall, that's the end of the question. Well done. Thank you for listening.